thank you to all of you as the good audience. Let me thank the head of department for opening and also making opening remarks. Thank our speakers who, starting first with Masuku DDG from the States. Thank Dr. Sithole, Professor Miende, you said you took out the Cape for being a prof today. You will also only get it back when after leaving here. Colleagues, all the team that has been part of preparing for this event. It is true that formally as a department, this is the first program of this kind that we're having for men. A week ago, on the 18th, as part of commemorating and spending our 67 minutes in celebrating the good work done by our former president, the icon, Ubaba Madiba. We had converged, led by the MEC in Ascot, Kawembase. We had a program which was under the theme, Isitshele Samadoda. And in that program, it was just the community, men from the community. Izingwevu zamadoda. And we felt that while this is still the month of July, we should have more of these programs in the department. And this is one of the culmination of that decision that we took. Let me thank also the young man who has been appointed to act as director for public participation, youth, and transformation, for Mr. Luketo Kumano. Where is he? Can we just rise? Semshayeli song. I do realize that we made a correct decision, because we may have thought about these things in the past, but we are now putting them to happen practically. And we have committed to say that to more of these programs in the department. I know that I'm required to provide a way forward, and at the end also provide a vote of thanks. I'm quite aware of that. But I think, having heard what the colleagues, especially yourselves as participants, have raised here, it makes me feel that we should have started such programs some time ago. And moving forward, because we have a person that I've indicated is now being put on the seat to drive, we will see more of these programs in the department. The issue of the story of the snake and your decision to go back to the mall before coming back home. You know, a person may interpret this in different ways. maybe Yotakamanda says. But one way of interpreting it, which in I show me. As in Chinese talk, you have to go and think about this snake and how to deal with it. You see? Many times I see a man who's shouting at home, who's emotional. And you start to ask yourself a question, what is happening here? It is the stress that reflects, that should portray itself in the way this man acts. It is not cool to shout, actually, when you are a man. It's not always cool, but we have seen it being done by our fathers when we were still young, and we thought, it's the right way to express, maybe to try and be felt to know the authority at home. Can you a problem? Man, no money, before Scarlet Dr. Mahal, he came with a food. Man didn't know this express anger who's a valid house, but couldn't have food. His farm, Dr. Stone, I start to wood. Man, you know, the friend be angry, so that you want to look at it. Can you the problem behind that is faced with this man? And these programs will assist us to say, no, but don't go and shout. Let's talk. What's the issue? What's the real issue behind your shouting, your being emotional, and all that? Because there seems to be an issue, a problem that you face. Let's rather deal with the problem. Maybe we can find solutions to that. What Dr. Stolle says, let's go back to basic things. Things that men cannot live without. 3 of them. Saikumbola colleagues. Yes. Which are they? Second one, food, and sleep. Okay. Ezinye futhi sivuka amakulelwe edoda. Kufuneka kulala ukuze sivuke ezinye. Uyabona? Kufuneka kulala. Bese siyavuka izinto. Uyabona? Uyazi ukuthi ezinye kufuneka isukuma noba kukuphi sekitchen noba kukuphi. Kodwa ezinye kufuneka kulala ukuze sivuke. Prof. I think we have learned a lot from this program. A lot we have learned. We don't regret that we were part of this program. That is why I was asked to outline our resolutions. But what I can say is that having learned what we have learned, it becomes necessary that we go back to a drawing table and see what best programs we can come up with. It is true that women are very good in planning their programs. You will feel from 12 midnight on the 31st when they start to plan for the Women's Month. Whether in church or when they are at work, they do their programs. Maybe one problem with men, we have not been doing that. So we must start now to plan our programs. But as uMhlanga says, there are certain facts that we must also, to be men of integrity, that is a matter of fact. Women for years have been marginalized. And men has played a role in that. So there's nothing wrong in correcting the wrongs that were done in the past. And we can't start to explain how should that be done? The fact of the matter, it has to be done. Let's deal with the marginalization of the past and try to bring about redress. And we must be committed as part of integrity as men. We must accept that women were marginalized for years. And men was part of that marginalization of a woman, including children, people with disability and others. Now, as a way forward, Prof has a unit in the department called Employee Wellness. Others call it Employee Health and Wellness, EAP. We do have that unit, but we may need to revisit that unit and see how effective it works in a balanced way. I think we are committing that will do, to revisit the structure itself and also ensure that we capacitate it such that it is more effective, and when it performs its responsibility, it does it in a more balanced way. So that is one resolution we are taking. We also commit that forums of this nature, where men will be provided with an opportunity to open up on the challenges they encounter, will be increased. There will be more forums of this nature, and they will be driven by the colleague that I've introduced, and we as top management and senior management, including the executive, will work to ensure that we also fund such programs as a department. More programs of this nature will be organized. I think the issue of continuous training of men, I think, was raised by the two colleagues, the comrades from SATU. It is true that you will think you're right until you realize that you are not right. And once you are aware that you are not right, you start, through training, capacitation, you start then to do things in the manner you are supposed to do them. So as a department too, we'll have programs where we train ourselves. It's not only training about training staff, also we have to train to be trained ourselves at this level, because had two doctors Stoller not come here, there are a lot of things that I did not know about. As a matter of fact, now this is one form of training, but there are other programs that will still be done to capacitate men. We'll also have, there must be spaces, I like what the Prof raised, that create a safe space for men to deliberate on their issues. And I felt a bit embarrassed that, in fact, but it's fine, we accept it. Only one man indicated he is able to create such space. So that we will have to deal with as a department moving forward, as a way forward, and also a resolution. I think this is democracy in action, and participatory democracy in action for that matter. When we talk of participatory democracy, we talk of three ways of participation, examples of participation. Voluntarism, where people volunteer to do the right thing. It should all be all of us openly saying we are volunteers to change the environment in which we live. Secondly, participation in group activities where men start to engage in more dialogues. Talking about these things is also a way of promoting participatory democracy, an example of participation. And community gatherings, more community gatherings. We can create some within the department, in our schools, where we also engage community members to talk about these things that affect men in general. Our democracy is founded on 7 values. One of the values of democracy is democracy itself. The second value is equality. Our Constitution, Section 9, talks to the fact that everyone is equal before the law. And we must start to learn that it's not men who are also above, who are all equal before the law. The third one is reconciliation, diversity, responsibility, respect, and freedom. We cannot be free as men when our women, children, and people with disability are not free. There must be balance in that situation. So I've said this is democracy in action. We'll see a lot of changes if we sustain these programs. Thank you very much, colleagues. Thank you for participating and being such a good audience. Thank you very much, Program Director. I hope that as we go back home, you will have safe travels, enjoy your weekend, so that next week you come back to work more energized. Think about what we learned today and start practicing it. We may have learned a lot, but if we don't start to practice what we learned, it is not going to assist us. Thank you very much, Dr. Director.